Hello guys, it's Paula and I'm back today and have no idea what we're going to do. So I just decided that you guys could create with me today, and it may or may not end up great. We'll just have to see. I'm still working on the poinsettia, and when we're done with that, if we have time, we'll work on the gingerbread man. If not, I'll do another video for that. Alright, let's get started. I haven't got a plan whatsoever, so I figure we can just pull I've just pulled out a bunch of different tags, and every book needs tags. So I also made this pocket a while back, and so I thought we could decorate it and then make some tags for it. All right. So let's just start. So, I am incorporating reefs in this a little bit too. And I have some little circle tags that I thought would be good for that. Let's see if I can get my fingers on them. Okay. Now, nothing is inked or anything. So, we'll have to do that as we go along. And I'm sorry if that's not too cool, but I think I like that reef on here. Let's get her inked up. It's not real proper grammar, but that's all right. I'm this Okie from Muskogee, Oklahoma, so I guess that's okay. I will tell you that Sadie is not happy with me right now, so if you hear barking, don't be shocked. She would not let me do anything today. I mean, all she wanted to do, this is a new ink pad, so it's going to be pretty dark, it looks like. And that's all right, because I like dark. I think I'm going to actually give it a little bit of darkness on purpose. All right. I'm just going to do the edges on this side so that they can have some journaling area. All right, so let's make sure our hole's at the top. And, this is so simple. It's almost scary. It's so simple. And, I think what we're going to do is find some little bit of this. Or do we want twine? We've got twine too. I just think there's something about twine at Christmas that's just a must. So first, before we glue that on, let's put some twine in. And the little teensy tiny hole it has on it, we might have to make that bigger just so I can get the twine through. Yep, that's not going to work for a blind lady. So let's get this. Let's give it a little bit bigger hole. All right, sorry about that. Now, I'm going to try to stay up in camera today. It is really hard. I stretch my arms out hoping that, that's going to be enough. But sometimes I notice that I think my camera is not going out as far as it should. It wants to zoom in a lot. So I just tied a double knot right there, and I've decided I'm also going to tie a knot on the end of these two strings. I kind of like the way that looks. It looks more like a package kind of tag, and right now it looks like a big blob of mess, but let's see what we can get to come out of it. Okay. All right, and we're going to trim off these ends, and there we have it. So I really like this reef. I don't know though, I like it on, I know I have more than one. There is no doubt, there she is. She is making herself known to you guys. I have several different ones. That's just not bright enough. Let's see what this one looks like. I keep going back to that first one. It just seems to have what it takes for the, although here's a big one that I can put on this. So let's use the original one we talked about. Okay. I've got a real big mess going on here. Don't even have a place to set my favorite glue. Okay. We're just going to glue everything down. Of course, I believe this is Tim Holtz ephemera that the wreath that we're using. I've had it for some time, so it's not like it's a new thing. And I don't know why, but it kind of looks flat on the sides. That's kind of weird, huh? Don't know what's up with that, but that's all right. It doesn't matter. There you go. How simple was that? We can knock them out if we keep doing them that simple. Okay, so let's work on the front of this since we talked about it. Now, I'm going to ink this because I do like this wreath. And we need to put a poinsettia on it as well because this is, that is part of what I want to cover here. It's kind of an odd shaped wreath. Let's see. I'm going to open up one of these little bags here so we can have them ready. Okay. All right, so now we need to tear some stuff to put behind it. Sadie, I think she just opened the shower door. That is funny. She may be in the shower. Maybe it'll keep her occupied for a little bit. Listen, she was really good over the weekend, but she is such a character. She keeps my husband and I on our toes. Okay, I'm going to tear some paper. Almost on our toes too much. We're like, oh my gosh, how much of this can we take? Some days we both look at each other and say, she's giving me anxiety. She's such a handful. And she doesn't give in. She will not give in to anything you want her to give in to. Okay, so we've got some music here. I don't know, this wreath almost looks too big, doesn't it? But I like the way it looks. Put a little, and then we're going to fill the pocket full of, no, I don't like that, but we might slip one in the pocket after we ink it. Let me see what else we've got here. 'Tis the season to be jolly. No, don't want that. We've got a little bit of everything in my little stack. Maybe we can kind of rearrange how we do it. No, I think it's the wreath that's too big, guys. I think it looks like the wreath is just too big for this. I think it would look good on a card or something like that, but it just looks way too big. Let's try this red one here. I love these little berry wreaths. I've had them on my door before. They're really nice. We could stick something green under here. Let's see what that would look like. It says Merry Christmas. But the problem is all this little stuff in the middle. No, I don't like that. Okay, let's see what else we got in my stack. I told you there's no plan here. There's no telling what we'll end up with, and everything's just kind of flipping over. Flipping over on top. Okay, let's try this. And see what we get. I should have cleaned out an area for us. I hope we're in camera. I know now that if I stay up in this little spot, you'll be able to see. Okay, so this is like a snowy village with some poinsettias on it, and it says A Joyful Christmas. It's kind of hard to read. So I thought I would kind of make it like a little tag sticking out, or a little flag of some sort. I really am not sure how that wreath is supposed to be on there. Let's try this one. No, that green just doesn't go with anything. I'm still looking. I've not given up yet. No, I don't know where I got those. I've had them forever. But those are not what we need. Okay, so we have to make a decision, Paula. Have to make a decision. We've tried using every single one. Let's think. That's too big. This is too big. Oh, I don't know. I like that better now that it's with that. But I don't like the way you can see it through there. We might have to cut that part off. That's what we'll do. We'll operate on it. Let me ink it real quick. My thing is, do it quick. Don't mess around, because you will change your mind over and over again if you do. Yeah, see, that's better. What do you think? Yeah, we need, we'll probably need some kind of little word or something on there, but I'm not going to put the words on right now because I don't even know where they're at. And I've actually got on my Microsoft and done up some words in a typewriter font, because I haven't been able to find Tim Holtz Christmas ones, and you know, which is aggravating, but sometimes things are sold out. I'm kind of like, if he would have them out by now, I would think, if he wanted to sell them. I haven't really seen just his Christmas stuff, you know, at least in the store. Let's kind of tilt it, but not where it's hanging off, because we don't want it to get snagged on things. Hope you guys are having a good day. Let's see. All right. And then we'll put like a word here. Do I like that? Do we like that? Yeah, let's do that. We got to use these things, don't we? We don't want them to sit in a box and never get used. That's kind of how I look at it. I don't want them next year. I want whatever's new next year. I'm going to hold this down for a second. Give it a couple seconds. I'm going to ink one of these hollies. These are some I stamped a while back when I was working on some of my granddaughter's Christmas pages. And I thought, I'm going to keep those. You never know what you can use them for. But I think they will look good as just a filler in a pocket like this. Okay, now, obviously, they're not going to be the only thing in here, but they're going to be the first thing. And let's see, how about this tag? Which, oh my goodness, it has to have paper on the back. So, I don't want to waste your time putting paper on the back, but I will ink all of these whichever ones I decide to put in, and on the tags, I will put paper in the back. Let me see if this envelope will fit. Who knows? We never know what it might look like. Probably it's going to be way too big and gaudy. But I just, you know, why not try it and see? What do you think? I think it's big. Okay, moving along. Let's find some different tags or journaling cards or something that we can just slip down in there. I've got several journaling cards that have, you know, let's see what this would look like. Again, a lot of the journaling cards are going to have things sewn on to the back. The only thing about that one is that big area right there is just too plain for, you know, for what we want. Here is another one. It's really too short. We'll find the right one eventually. Maybe. Who knows? No. That one's cute. It's not quite tall enough, but if we mat it on to something else, I like this Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year too. If we put these onto like a tag or something, let's try this inventory tag. Let's see. Yeah, see, that will fit. We'll decorate this tag up. Let's ink this first. We don't have to ink the back because we will be attaching it to the tag, but we do need to ink the tag. But I can ink pretty fast, so it doesn't slow me down too long. I try to be pretty quick. I'm not that picky with my inking, as long as it's not really bad. Whatever that's supposed to mean. Okay, so I think I want it right here. I'm looking around on my table full of junk and thinking, okay, what do we need with it? Let's see. Excuse me while I dig around and see what we've got going on in here. We got to use some bling for some of this stuff because, you know, after all, it is Christmas. And so we don't want it to be super plain. I think I'm going to put this lace at the top. If I can find my scissors that are buried beneath all this stuff. If you could only see everything I can see, you would be like, wow. This is very simple, but it's also enough. I mean, simple works for me. Let's see. Or do we want some of this? I know you guys are probably saying, not that. But actually, I'll tell you the truth. Let me look in the... It actually is a closer red than what the lace is. So let's glue this portion down. You mostly want your glue on the outer edges, you know, so it doesn't snag on things in your corners. Because it doesn't take a lot for the middle. And just so happens the inventory tags have, you know, like a little area that you can line them up and get them straight. Like a line across there. So that works out. Okay, let's take off the gem adhesive. And these do stick well, so you don't, I haven't had any problems with them. So you don't need to worry about adhering any extra glue on the back of them. Looks like we got one too many. We'll just trim that off. There we go. All right. Now, what kind of trim do we want up here? We don't want just anything because let's tie some of the fabric. Now, the thing I like about tying fabric, I have a bow over here somewhere, but I don't know what I did with it. I tied a really cute little bow. There it is. Let's see if it will work. It was cute, but it's been like thrown everywhere in the meantime. I like that. Do you like that? Okay, so the problem is it's already tied and there's a hole there, so we got to put something over the hole that's not noticeable. So what do we suggest? Let me think. It doesn't have to be anything major. It can just be a little piece of paper. We'll just do that. I've never done this before, but there's nothing that says you can't. So I'm just putting a little glue around the punched out hole. I'm going to run some ink over this little vintage dictionary paper and just kind of plop it on there. It's called improvising. And then straighten up my bowl a little bit, and then I'm going to glue it down. Now, I'm going to actually glue out a little bit too, because I want it to stay down without any problem. Now see, you're not going to be able to see. The glue is attacking me from across the table. You're not going to really be able to see the bow back here, except I did have some. Let me get that little bit of glue that's kind of seeping out. All right, so there we have it. Simple but cute, I think. Okay, now we're going to move on to putting this into this and see what it's going to look like. This little tag I think is going to be too short, but that one is great. But we need one other thing in there with it, something slender. I have some slender tags, and maybe we'll just decorate one of those. Let me grab it. Okay. Now, first thing we have to do is ink it. Let's see. Now, I kind of like that because I really wanted to use it. I think I want to put that on. It's funny how you can you go and pull out all your stuff and you think, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start with all this. And I felt that way this morning, and I thought, I'm just going to turn on the video and hopefully we can create together. I thought we can just call it creating together, or create with me, or let's create, or something, since, you know, and we're going to tie some twine in here. I'm going to tie one or two little knots first. I like simple tags. Whenever you have a tag that is more like this one, blinged up, you know, I like to come back with something less elaborate, you know, something that doesn't steal the show but yet fills in the space. And I feel like that's kind of what this does. Okay, I'm going to trim off the and we'll just slide it in under the, I'm going to slide it into the side, and there we go. What do you think? I think it turned out pretty good. Got to keep our little tie this direction. Let me bring it up where you can see it better. And that's our pocket. This pocket was made out of a Christmas card. You know, the box cards that Hobby Lobby and Michael's sells, you know, with the prints on them. This was made out of one of those. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to move on to something. Let me think for a minute. What do we want to do next? Let me pull out some of the stuff that I have here. I have a lot of tags because I use a lot of tags in my journals, you know, because you find that you're having to fill a lot of places up with stuff. But I also love, oh gosh, here's a library card. I think I want to do it first. We'll get it all ready. Let's see, what can we put here? I know I have some goodies down in here somewhere that would fit this perfect. I'm losing some of my little goodies. Let's see. This is a vintage. This came out of a vintage book. I want to for sure use that. Came out of a really old Christmas book, and I have another one floating around here somewhere in my stack of stuff that I want to use also. I'm going to kind of straighten this up a little bit so we can tell what we've got. There are stacks of poinsettias there. And there, that is a wreath stack, a Santa stack. That's kind of how oh, and here's the other one is a wreath. It's too big though. So I might save those for now. I want to use this C for Christmas. I want to use this little button that has a little wreath on it. I really like that Santa. And I do want to incorporate Santa also in this journal. It is primarily wreaths and poinsettias, but I really do want to incorporate more than just that. And we've got like all these journaling cards. And everything's kind of mixed up. That's because everything got put into my box. I like this Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's see what the red one says. The most wonderful time of the year. But see, I think with the Santa, this green will work better. Although I like this journaling card, we may mix that in too so that they have plenty of journaling space. Here is another Santa. We'll look at him too and see which one we want to use. I tried to kind of throw a bunch of this and that. Here's some music. There's an advertisement for a Christmas show. Here's another Santa. Oh, and here's another vintage piece that I found. And yeah, so here's an old vintage tally card. I do want to use that somewhere. All right, so I'm going to move these journaling cards out of the way because they're just really big. I'm trying to keep little titles and stuff so that we have some things to work with. Okay, here's our pile of mess here. We definitely want to use the C and the button. And we want a Santa. So, where did my library card go? There it is. That's what I want to put our main image on. Do we want this Santa? He kind of looks odd to me. We're tossing him. I love the vintage Santas, but I think that one's a little big for that pocket. So let's go with this little guy because he fits right on there. And we might even be able to put some music in there. kind of hanging out to the side or something. And we'll put something under him. And on here, we want something that has the right shape. And maybe this little wreath. How's that? But I really did like, instead of the music, I think I like this Wish You a Christmas, Merry Christmas thing better because it brings out some green. Okay, so we have a start. First things first is we have to ink. Now I know this is coffee stained, but I still ink around the edges because it does make a difference in how everything looks. This thing has gone through coffee staining and it looks like it's been through its days. I like these little library cards because people can journal up and down the backs, and they're just neat. Okay, let's go ahead and ink up what we've got here that we're going to use. That way we don't have to worry with doing that, constantly stopping to do it. I'm going to have to add some paper to the back of this, coffee stain paper to the back of this card, and I will do that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and set him right there for now, like he's human. Okay, there, we're going to ink this real quick. Okay, now let's go ahead and get some, there's some old dictionary. That will work. Don't even have to rip and tear it. It's already done for us. I hate inking old dictionary paper though, because it's so flimsy. You have to kind of rough it up a little bit. All right. This is the part of making a journal that is fun, is the part where you make all the embellishments. At least it is for me. You know, you don't know what to expect. It's kind of like a little surprise. I like that red behind Santa, but he's not quite big enough to... And it's still too small. I mean, I could have put some cardstock behind him, but it would take me 30 minutes to find it in this mess. I know I've got some, but... And I've actually gotten it out. I just... We're going to put him right here in the center. Toward the top of the card so that it's easy to slide down into the card. Okay, we may add something with him here in a minute, but first we're just going to put him in here and see what he looks like. I really like him. He looks really cool, doesn't he? How about we do a little bit of, and I know there's people out there that does not like bling, but at Christmas time, that's the time you do bling. It's about the only time I do. I don't do it on a regular basis. I don't know if I want it up here or if I'm going to want it right there. Let's wait and see what this looks like. Make sure you're still in camera. I get busy and I forget that, you know, camera's up there. Okay, now let's see what this little wreath is going to look like. And it's actually not a button, it's a it's just a chipboard kind of thing, but they have it done up kind of like a button. If I can get my fingers around it. Well, we're going to see where it lands. Well, if it will quit attaching to me. It's kind of hard whenever I've got as much glue on me as everything else. Okay, there we go. I think we need the bling right along. Sorry, my computer's over here. Every time I get an email, it lets me know. I don't know that I like that there. I think I like it up here better with our Santa. There we go. Yep, that's better. This still seems like it needs something, but I don't know what right now. Probably a poinsettia, since that's what I've really been focusing on, but I don't think I have any that small other than these that I've been using, and I don't want to use that again. Sorry guys, this is the process. You got to think whenever you're doing this. I don't know, I think maybe less is best in this situation. Okay, here we go. And this is a great place in your documenting your daily things, is to put a date or something like that. Okay, now we're going to make just a plain old tag and use some of these old vintage photos. Now, mind you, this is an old children's craft book that I got this out of. And I want to make sure I use it because that's just part of what our junk journals are, is using vintage stuff. Finding junk, you know, to use in our books. Now, I don't like that it has blue on the background. So, I am going to kind of darken it up a little bit because it's kind of... Bear with my dauber just a moment. Sorry. I am going to kind of... I'm thinking what else I could do there. Maybe put a actual... No, that's too much. Let's find a card to stick with it. Some sort of card, I'll put it that way. Here's a Merry Christmas one. How about we do that? Let's see. Let's see. I like the fact that it's vintage and the child made it, but I want to distract from the blue. I have several different, and you know, the fact that it was a child, maybe I should use some of these childlike images that I have. Nope. It's funny how you can have a huge pile of stuff and nothing will satisfy you. Nothing appeals to you. Maybe we'll use a different one instead of that one. Maybe we'll use this old vintage This is an old vintage cross-stitch pattern that came out of, I think, like a Southern Living or something, but I thought it looked neat. And so I think we're going to use it. It's more in our color scheme. And I think it'll look better in the long run. Okay, so I'm thinking that is a crazy thing to do sometimes. I like this bag also, which I know that this is a, I know it's a bag and it's not something you would normally put on a tag, and that's what attracts me to it. And I love doing stuff, as you know, when you saw my design team project, I love doing stuff that is different and unexpected. And I love using the little mini bags in any way I can. It's kind of my thing. And since we have that pocket that had Christmas trees on it, I think this Merry and Bright bag would look cute. Now, mind you, this is still a tag. We're still using it as a tag, but I know I went from using the poinsettia to this, but I'm thinking that I can stick an image down in here. Maybe we'll use our card down in here. And then we'll use our tag for something altogether different. And I might go ahead and put some of this red lace up on the top of the card. Now this card, I believe it comes inked. Got these at Michael's and I really like them, but I haven't seen them. It's like, you know, that's the thing. You go to Michael's and you can get something one time, but the next time it may not be there. So I'm going to staple this ribbon down because I like different textures and I don't want glue going all over everything inside this pocket. Now, it's going to need green and red twine. I think we're going to mix the twine on this one. I believe that some of this twine is lawn fawn. I can't remember. I think it's the small ones are lawn fawn, and the big one, I think, I don't know where it came from. It was a gift. Went to a crop, and it was a gift at a crop. It was like a Christmas crop. And so anyway, off the subject. Sometimes it's fun to reminisce over stuff that you get. You know, it's things that people give you are so much more special. At least that's how I look at it. You know, a gift, you know, I like to reminisce over who got me this or where I was at when I got this, or I don't know if it's my age that I like doing that, or if it's just, who knows? Who knows? The reason that I put the red twine on, since this is primarily green, was because of the red ribbon. Now, you know, I wanted it to kind of balance out. All right. This is not one that we need to put paper on the back. This tag is it's already where it can be journaled. All right. Who would have thought, right? That we would have put a bag on a tag. Oh, I think I want to put down in one of the corners. I had a little, or once upon a time, I had a little poinsettia. Maybe it was this one, and that's not the right red. How about we try this one? That's too big. Oh, I know what we can put on there. I have another bag. Let's try one of these. I've only actually used one out of this package. I don't know if we used it today or not. I don't think so. These are already inked pretty good, so I don't have to worry about it. There we go. A bag on a tag with a flashcard and a poinsettia. All right, let me move on. Let me see what time we've got. We could probably do one more thing. It's going to have to be something that's not real difficult. Let me think for a minute. Of course, I'm spending our time thinking. How about we do up a index card to put in our inside of our envelope. You know, I always do an envelope. You guys know that about me. And I always like to put something inside the envelope. So we've already inked this up. I'm going to put this vintage thing inside since it's blue. I want to use it, but this way it can be used and not be out looking like the oddball. Do you see what I mean? He can still be appreciated for his age, but also, and then I'm going to also put one of these children images next to it, but I'm going to cut the green off right here because it just doesn't look right with the blue. You know, it's funny how you can, one color can just make the design look crazy. You know, or make it look so different that you don't want to use it. Okay. I wasn't going to use these little people, these little children, but then I started thinking, I'm going to use Santa in this book. So we need to use some children. That's what Christmas is all about. Well, not completely. I mean, we like Christmas too, don't we? I don't know why I keep grabbing that little piece of ribbon. Let's see. I want to put a Merry Christmas on there, so I'm going to cut this one down as well. And I don't care if it's even perfectly square. That's not what's important to me. I just want it to say Merry Christmas. So when they open it, it's kind of like a card, you know. It may look odd, but it to me, it's, you know, it's like opening up a card, even though we know it's not a card. Okay, well, I'm going to put this kind of down and over. I want it to look kind of wonky and childlike. And it definitely is that. All right, now, usually when I put a tag in an envelope, I like to put something here on top. I'm looking to see what I've got in my pile over here that might work, but I don't really see anything of greatness. Let me look in here. Got white. Here's some red and green. Let's open this up. Just what no, we don't want green. I just remembered, I don't want green. Okay, well, we don't have to put a thing on there if we don't want anything on there. I just thought that it would look cute with something to pull out, you know. But let me ink this real quick. This will go inside my collage envelope, which I haven't done yet. But I've started it. I don't have it over here by me, but and it's ready. All right, guys. Enjoyed crafting with you today. I hope you'll come back and create things with me every day. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Bye.